okay,
Reinforcement,
it's
right?
it's a reinforcement, and it's just like, okay, all right, now I see the kind of edges of where I need to maximize my growth. Let me just make sure I get everything in order.
Right. No, let me get this other table.
Oh, 6:30, but a different place.
1 second.
No, yeah, I was just getting a table. And we can tell them we can grab cat.
Oh,
So we do have access to Cat and Sarai right now. If anybody wanted to ask a question, I know there were lots of questions and we couldn't get to all of them. So
if you look, if you look at chat, let me pull up chat actually now that I'm looking at it.
yes, it's being streamed into the YouTube channel. That's correct. Very exciting.
Just 1 second, looking into the chat just to see how it's presenting. Is it showing online?
It should be showing on YouTube.
So is this also a live web thing on YouTube, or is this just the accountability group?
It should be live on YouTube so that people
Okay, just
free
perfect.
week. Yeah,
Fantastic.
we see it.
Everyone wave.
Excellent.
Hi,
Say hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube. So,
Hi, YouTube.
yes, Kathleen needs systems in place as per usual. We all do. Good about systems, but completely would not have thought about boundaries. Boundaries is huge, Elizabeth. So much information since I'm in workflow building part. Michelle, yes. Okay. So, question is, what's the homework for the month? Kat, can we, or Sarai, one of you?
What is the homework?
What's the homework for the month?
Oh, buy my course.
Buy your course.
Shameless plug, buy my secret weapon consultation so you can put it to use and start closing all the sales you're not closing. No, seriously, start working on putting together a consultation. And start by number one, asking all the questions that your clients are asking you, that have been asking you before, because you want to be proactive, guys. My consultation answers all the objections that I faced over the last 10 years. 7, because I want to remember for 8, I think the last 8 years, right? I answered the consultations, the objections before they come up. And that's how I build trust with my clients. When they see that I got them, because every possible objection they had, I covered it already with my process and my systems, they're going to be in. There's no need for them to say, oh, well, I don't know. But another shameless plug, right? April 11th. Go to Take Action with Sarai.
Yes.
I'm doing a free webinar on how to identify sales objections throughout the whole process, at initial inquiry, at the consultation, at the photo shoot, at the sales reveal, right? And it's a free webinar. You have to be present to win, right? And it's at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And right after, there's going to be a free webinar by Ashley Taylor.
Oh.
So you want to make sure that you block those 4 hours on April 11th so that you can get all this wonderful free information on 2 different topics.
Absolutely. Couple questions here. Can you answer a couple quick questions?
Yes,
okay.
In 5 minutes.
Yes,
We'll
5
be right
minutes.
back.
Oh, in 5 minutes. We will get to those questions in 5 minutes. Can you put the links for Sarai and Kat's promotions here? Kim, do you mind grabbing those links? So it is takeactionwithsarai.com for her courses and the studio takeover for Kat's. Thank you, Christopher.
So one of the things that I did want to talk about before we get into all the consultation talk, this is being streamed to YouTube, and we are giving people the opportunity for free week to kind of see what this is all about and what they would get along with the Portrait System main Facebook group and our group. So Angie, can you tell YouTube what it is that you and I do for this Zoom meeting and what everyone gets to see when we do this?
Absolutely. So we normally have these Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific and Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific every week. And everybody that is a Portrait System member can join us. It is an open forum that is not rewatchable. If you saw the live, you'll understand why they were explaining the reasons behind that. So it is a safe place for us to come with questions, struggles, challenges, wins, victories, things like that. It's kind of a hive mindset where you have access to people where you can see their lovely faces like this and just say, hey, I'm kind of struggling with this, or like, how do you guys handle this? And it's open forum so that multiple people, hi guys, can come in and ask whatever they're, we also have mentors on a lot of the time. So we had a couple of questions.
Absolutely.
There was one that had been in the chat that we didn't get a chance to. So Katura had asked if do you do an inquiry call and a consultation, and how does that work? I know that you do both. And
I do both. I
Okay.
mean, obviously, I answer their inquiry call, right, or their inquiry email, or their inquiry.
However they choose to reach out, yeah.
Whatever it is, however they reached out, I answered, and I watched the live again, but I
Yes.
say the same thing, so I'm gonna say it again, right? So thank you so much for reaching out. I'd love to work with you. All our sessions include professional hair, professional makeup, wardrobe styling, guided posing. Sessions last about 2 hours long, and you get to see the images immediately after. Our price per image a la carte is $700. And to book a date and time, it's $500. That's our booking retainer that gets applied in its entirety to whatever you purchase at the end. Right? And so I said the next step is the Zoom consultation, where I'll get to know who you are, what your needs are, how I can help you, position yourself as a leader in your industry so you can make more money. And I'll also go in detail about what to bring, how to prepare, and know pricing in detail, because most of my clients opt for a package. That's where they save the most, because one image is $700 a la carte. But for example, I have a package of 20 images. So I say it that way so they start doing the math in their head. 7 times 20, oh my gosh, $14,000.
right.
Right? And I say, and that's 5,000. So they're like, oh, wow, you save a lot when you buy more. And I said, but the beauty of this is that you don't have to decide how many images right now. You just need to know that this works for you or not. And we're going to find out together that at this Zoom consultation. Right? So to me, it's just next step. Let me answer your question about pricing. But before I answer the pricing, I'm going to tell you everything that comes with it. So you build value in your head about it. And once you do, I'm going to tell you what your next step is, because people do what we tell them to do. And so if I tell them this is the next step, they're going to take the next step.
Yep. 100%. And then the other question I saw is the secret weapon included in your other products?
So yes, so the secret weapon is included in the Train Your Team, and it's also included in the 30K day headshot. Also, the styling is included in the 30K headshot, also the immediate sales reveal. So if you go to Take Action with Sarai, it tells you which ones are included where. You can use, but you can also, ask us anytime.
Amazing. And then I did see one more here. Tia had asked this in the live chat as well. Curious how you handle people who directly tell you they don't have time to do a consultation or feel they don't need a consultation. I also have potential clients who just avoid addressing scheduling consultation. How do you handle that?
Yeah, so that's the next step. It's not up to you to decide that, because it's my process. It's not yours, right? And so I tell them, they're like, well, I don't have time. And I said, it's going to take, and I make sure that I can do the consultation and hit the main points in 15 minutes. So I don't have to do all of it and say, I just need 15 minutes of your time. Right? And people are like, well, can I do it on my car while I'm driving? And I said, absolutely not. I don't want you to get into a wreck. You need to be able to see the examples that I'm providing you. Again, to just reinforce your boundaries and your policies in place. Right? But I don't need a consultation. I've done headshots before. And I said, well, you came to me because you were really attracted to the type of work I do. What you see on my website is not a result of chance. We have a very specific process where we include professional hair, professional makeup, wardrobe styling. We get to know you, right? And I can take a good picture of anybody that walks into my studio. But if you want images that are not just beautiful, but they're going to help you sell your products and your services, then they need to be intentional. And I can only create intentional work when I get to know you and you go through the consultation, right? So again, telling them what's in it for them as you honor your own boundary.
Absolutely. And then Mara had asked, do you send all of that over text and DMs on social?
What I just said,
like the pricing.
What I just said, which is like, thank you for reaching out. I love to work with you. All my sessions include This is the next step. I absolutely do. If they texted me, I text them. If they call me, I call. I pick up the phone and reply. If they send me an email, I send it as an email. If they DM me, it's the same thing. It's the same information, no matter what. Right? I don't have to wait until they fill out another form or until like they get on the phone with me. No, it's right now. I'm going to give you that. I'm going to pre-qualify you. If $700 per image doesn't scare you, then you are going to be sold into what I can offer.
And what do you say if when you say all that, they say, oh, that's expensive?
Okay, then that means you have not conveyed the value.
Mm-hmm.
But this is now why you need to be present on April 11
Yes.
at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, because my webinar is on identifying sales objections, when they happen throughout the process, how to rebuttal them. And this is one of the most common ones, right? You're too expensive. So I'm gonna guide you as to how to do that. Just go to Take Action with Sarai, find that link and put in your information so we can send you the link to join. It's free, right? And we're gonna address that, but you have to convey value. So I can give you a rebuttal, which I'm gonna show you how to do it, right? But you want to not be on, is it defensive?
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to be like that. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to wait until they give me the objection and I know what to say. You can definitely do it that way. I think that you need to be proactive. You already know they are asking that question. So how can you position yourself in what you're offering to such a value that is no longer a question? So I'm going to show you both rebuttal plus how to proactively make sure that that question doesn't come up again.
I love that. Also, if you guys have further questions after you watch this, or if they have to bounce, they will be live once a week in the Portrait System Facebook group.
Yeah.
So they go in for each 12-month topic. We have the initial live like today was, and then every Monday there is a Zoom, not Zoom, a Facebook Live at noon Pacific, where you and Kat just answer questions on the topic of the month.
On the topic of the month. So please come and ask the questions. We want to help you with that. We want to see you succeed. That's our job. So don't feel afraid to ask the questions. Right?
Absolutely. And thank you for dropping the link, Kim. Appreciate it.
And then once you guys are here with them, you know, then you also have that safe space with Angie and Kevin. They're the most friendly people in the world. And you're so nurturing.
I love you
which
so much.
I really, really appreciate, because, you know, asking those questions is tough. It's intimidating.
Yeah, it is.
Be vulnerable. And you guys are doing the work. You know, 80% of success is showing up.
Yes.
And the fact that you guys are here, are asking the hard questions, that already is telling me that you're action takers and that you're going to succeed more than people who don't show up at all.
I love the idea of maybe throughout this month on our Zooms, we do some like mock consultations.
Absolutely.
That's a good idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome.
So what do you plan on doing
as
that?
you start putting together all those things, right? So if you're going to join me on April 11, fill out the form so you can get the link to that. But you can also, start preparing the questions that you normally get that are objections, so that I can help you take care of those in that free live webinar.
I love it.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Love
I'll
you.
see
Thank you
guys.
so much, Sarai. Okay. Ooh, I feel like I'm drinking from a fire hose right now.
Yeah, yesterday plus today,
Yes,
everything's
yesterday
just
plus today,
so
we
much
got
good
tomorrow
information.
still. Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
So
I know Kevin had some things that he wanted to talk about. He's going to knock a lot.
Sorry. So just a few different topics. of
And we get to be
conversation.
together in the same room, which is it happens about once a month.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So
Thank you, Kim, so much. You're amazing.
So as you were watching the live today, what information, so go ahead and write it in the chat, or if you can speak up, what information in the discussion today triggered a realization for how you personally want to run your own consultations? You know, so you started getting a bit of the information, you know, is there something that you was like an aha moment, like, or maybe I shouldn't have been doing it this way, or, you know, maybe I should do it that way? So write in the chat.
You can write it or just
Or raise a hand.
Yeah, whatever you want. Just jump in.
So
Can I jump in, you guys?
Yeah.
So for me, it's having that email contact point after the consultation that reiterates everything that we just talked about. Because like Sarai said, I don't know if it's mom brain or just like everything brain, I will always forget something. Like I had a consultation the other day and I'm like, oh, I forgot to ask about food allergies. So like having that contact point afterwards that just outlines everything will be super helpful. And that's something that I started working on today.
That's amazing. And, I have Sarai's consultation slide deck.
Mhm.
And with that, it's fully customizable to you, but you can use the images that she showed of herself.
Mhm.
So when I use it, they don't know that I didn't take those pictures because now I've learned from her how to replicate them. So they think she's a client when they see them in the images. And when you get that slide consultation from her, she also sends you that email that is like, here's a synopsis of what we just talked about.
Oh, nice.
So it literally is all laid out for you. You copy and paste it. Here's the color theory we talked about. Here's how we talked about what to wear, what to bring, how to prep, all of these things. Here's the pricing again. So within her, and it's 50% off. Like that is insane.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. So the consultation slide deck has changed 100% of how I do my consults. It's amazing. So yes, I love that, Kim, that was your takeaway.
So for me, like, as I was watching this, and for a lot of people end up struggling, like, how do you transition or how do you show the value when someone calls and what's the price? What's the price? What's the price? And the way that Sarai describes it and how it's all broken down is like, you want to show value, you want to then talk price, and then you want to tell them the next step. Like a lot of people leave out that next step.
That's my favorite line.
Yeah.
That's my favorite line. I have been doing that for years where whatever path they're on, like whatever step they're on in the journey, right? Whether it's inquiry or day after the session, every single one of my touch points says the next step is, because if I'm a customer, I want to know, like we just had some contractors at our house and one of them was very non-communicative and they're like, did you pick the flooring? And we're like, you didn't tell us we had to pick the flooring. So the other contractor was like, here's the next step. And I'm like, that's what I want my clients to feel like, so that they feel prepared and they know exactly what is expected of them. So the next step is one of my favorite lines that I use in my business period. So
listening to that, I was like, okay, that's really like eye-opening to, if you're looking and wondering, why is this not converting? Why are not people signing up? Well, are you even telling them now, let's move into the next phase?
Here's another point I want to make. So I actually record all of my consultations. I ask permission and I do most of them on Zoom. So what I say is, as soon as we join the call, I say, hey, Kevin, do you mind if I record this just so I don't have to take notes and I can be present in the conversation? So that does two things. They know that I want to be present in the conversation, listen to what they're saying, but now I have a recording so I can go back and listen to it and make sure that I've hit all of the touch points I want. And I didn't realize, so I was talking about this at dinner last night. I had noticed a pattern that I wasn't selling any wall art. And I'm like, why am I not selling any wall art? So I went back and watched my consultations. I also record my IPSs. And I'm like, I'm not selling it because I don't bring it up. I had like 6 consults in a row where I didn't mention wall art. So I would recommend that you record them. I've only had one person say they didn't want me to record the consultation, but it's a way to check yourself and make sure that you're touching all of those points. Sarai's slide deck totally takes care of that because you won't miss a point because it walks you through it too. The other thing about her slide deck is it's like a presentation on Zoom. So it's like a keynote and it will have notes that the client can't see that says, say this here. When this slide comes up, say this. So it gives like conversation prompts and stuff. So, but I would recommend asking permission to record your consultations and your IPSs because you'll start to notice patterns, just like football players go back and watch their tapes, right? So I'm 8 years in and I still record all of them. So
Your cloud must be huge.
my cloud must be huge. It is. Yeah, my cloud is huge. It's rainy in Seattle. So right. But then it's like, if I start to notice, or if somebody says like, well, you didn't tell me that, then I can make sure I did tell them that. Right.
Yeah.
So and they know it's recorded.
Let's see.
The course I'm referring to is it's called The Secret Weapon. It's in the link that Kim dropped. It is the consultation slide deck. She walks you through how to use it, how to customize it. It has the actual slide deck and the follow-up email. It's all customizable. And yes, oh, good, you got Kat's templates. Awesome, Lorraine. I also have cats templates. I'm all in with these ladies. They're amazing. Okay, sorry. Carry on.
No worries, no worries. I figured that as a group we can discuss kind of like, give me 1 second. Different phrases. So obviously, ladies had mentioned the selling begins during the consultation. So, let's talk about what are some of the things that you can say to kind of start planting seeds inside of your client's mind. One of the things that I had told Angie yesterday during dinner for the idea of selling wall art is starting that off from the very beginning. As you're talking about it, and you say, I recommend to my clients that, their favorite images, let's go ahead and put their favorite images from this on the walls. Let's take a look at what we're working with. Have that be the starting point, because obviously you're going to want to try to sell multiple images through a collection, but start off first with talking about wall art and seeing if there's anything that you can put up, because the wall art, $1,000 here, $1,200, $1,500, maybe they choose 3 of their favorite because they got the wall space. And then afterwards you can print the collections into obviously the 5, 10, 20, 30, depending on what they choose. And if you started with the wall art first, and then you put everything up, now you're selling multiples, you're making larger orders, and you're giving the idea from the very beginning, you're planting that seed that, yeah, wall art is a possibility, So by doing that, you're giving them, you're being of service to them, letting them know that this is going to be able to see their favorite images every single day, as well as make larger sales for yourself.
Absolutely. And guys, go ahead and jump in if you want to talk about something else or have a question about something that's being talked about, or something that you guys learned today or yesterday or a month ago. All those are okay. We want it to be interactive. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah.
Chirp. By the way, how cool is it that we're in Sue's studio right now?
So let's go ahead and post in chat. What are some other topics or what are other things that you can mention just to kind of ping your client as to what are your other options? So
How can you continue to build the relationship with?
Can you guys hear Kat? How can you continue to build the relationship with the client?
Because the sale is the byproduct of the relationship, not the sale is the goal, right? Like
Exactly.
obviously the sale is the goal of your business, but the sales become the byproduct of relationships. We educate.
Can you guys hear her? Yeah. Okay, great. Awesome. Yeah. Is there a place to watch Sue handle objections? There are 1,100
but
hours.
Yeah,
Objections
sales
specifically, sales intensive. Yeah.
and marketing.
there actually is another one where she does go specifically over the consultation.
It's like called consultation number 2, I think.
Something along those lines. I
Yeah.
believe she's at home during COVID.
Mhm.
Yeah, where she goes over it.
Oh, yeah. See,
The last 2 links I dropped are both consultations. The very last one is step 2, the consultation from the sales workshop.
Kim, you are amazing with the links.
I got you guys.
You guys are awesome. We appreciate you. It's harder to do it when we're here because we're not sitting at home and on a regular computer.
Exactly. I have a whole massive setup, big monitor and everything. Like, just drop
Yeah.
everything here and there. So
Exactly. Hi, said I. I love these ladies so much. Who thinks they want to come to the May live? Come to Kat's studio. How cool would it be to be in the audience for marketing month? This is when we went through and asked all of you when we were first starting this in January, 90% of you said your biggest pain point was marketing and bums and seats. How cool would it be to be in Kat's studio while they're live and be able to ask questions? I know, Tia, you're in Japan. That's hard. But, oh, it's so awesome. Live from London. Do you know what, Eva? We are going to be in Italy in June. Is that close enough?
Yeah, I got that.
Yes. We miss you too, Andrea. She was here last time. We miss you. Yes. Might come to Rise. Jamie, awesome. marketing week would be incredible.
Mm.
So, okay. You're good. You can eat. This is informal.
Awesome.
This is like, you know, like LinkedIn is like Facebook with a tie. The on the hook is like GPS without the tie. You can eat.
Yes. Oh,
Rise is doable. See?
Come see me in Knoxville.
Yes.
That's in July. Gives you time to prep also.
Mhm, exactly. What's
we
the
love-
topic in July? Do we know?
Great question. Let me know.
Okay.
We'll tell you in a moment.
In a moment, please hold.
So
I think it's posting and lighting.
July is lighting.
Lighting.
Yeah.
It's actually wonderful because you'll get to see what light I use and what light Kat uses. You know us both. We're yin and yang. We're so opposites. And you'll get to see demos, live demos
Mm-hmm.
of our light setups.
July is lighting, yeah.
Can't find Sarai's what, Lorraine?
Take action with Sarai. That's the
Yeah,
email.
takeactionwithsarai.com. And Kim's been dropping the links in the chat. So if you scroll the chat, it might be up
Mhm.
there. There we go. Thank
And
you.
then
And there's the codes for the
the
50%
cut, yes,
off.
and the cut and Sarai
Crazy.
show. That's to apply for either May, June, July, or all of them.
Cats is May 1st, correct?
Mhm.
The one at my school is
Yes.
first,
In
but
Asheville. But we have a workshop available right
workshops are-
before, which is that Sunday. And we have a workshop available right after, which is that Tuesday, just like we did here this time. And then on July 10, the same thing.
Mhm.
So stay tuned for what those opportunities
Yes.
are, especially around lightning. If you want to build a portfolio, you'll be able to get to do that with Kat and I. So
It is, I mean, like the workshops are so much information. I know, I went through it, but then I've also been here, I was here yesterday and I was like, oh my God, I remember them saying that, but I didn't write it down last time. So it wasn't in my notes and now I'm writing it down. So
one thing that I learned from Sue is that you receive the content that you're ready to act on.
exactly.
And even though it's the same content that we're delivering every time, you know, so that your brain doesn't get overwhelmed, you're going to take one thing, you're going to act on it. And then once you implement that, then go back and rewatch things. That's why, you know, the sales intensive, the marketing intensive on the library, I've watched them so many times. And
I've
every
watched it
time,
at least 10 times.
every time I watched it, I'm like, oh, there's another gold nugget I've never heard before. But it's because I was not ready to receive it. So just keep doing it.
You know, what's funny is after you watch like a certain video so many times, like I will know there's a video where Sue was in the 90-day challenge
Mhm.
and she had like a cold
Mhm.
and she talks like I know exactly what she's going to say when she says it because I've watched it like a dozen times.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, here's where she's going to ask for a Kleenex and she's going to say now this is going to be on here
So
forever,
funny,
right?
I've seen
Well,
that.
yeah. So Kathleen asked,
What if after consultation, clients need time to think? I just had a consultation today and she wanted to think.
and then she said, I sent her an invoice that expires in 24 hours. Should I stop?
No, that's fine. Okay,
Mhm.
Kathleen. So again, you want to make a customer for life, not necessarily an immediate sale, right? Yes, you want people to talk, but I'm more interested in the long-term plan. And I'm more interested in how a client feels when they're with me, because they'll remember that over anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so when a client tells me I want to leave them an out, and when I say, hey, well, it's okay now, you chose the date, you know how much it is, you now know how to prepare, you know, I know everything about you and your business. Then I said, okay, so now, you know, will this be on your Visa, MasterCard, or American Express? And they're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, I need time to think about it. I need to ask my husband and to ask my business partner, right? Chances are that even though they're sold on the whole process, they're not ready to make the investment. And I like to provide them with an easy out,
Yes.
because I want them to feel like I'm not after the sale, right? That I'm
Because you're
after the
not.
relationship. No, I
Yeah.
don't chase. Kat and I don't chase, right? And so what I tell them is, you know what? Absolutely. I'll reach back to you tomorrow. And then you can tell me whether it's something you're doing now or not yet. And that's totally fine.
Mhm.
Right? I'm gonna let them go with love. I
Mm-hmm.
know they're gonna come back when they've come up with the money, when they've had a bigger sale.
And they will.
And they will.
They will come back. You
Not
think
only
they're
that,
off? You
not
think
only
they're off the
that,
line? Yeah.
Mm.
they are some of my best evangelists because they are actually sold out on the process when I went through the consultation. And then they're like, well, I cannot afford that right now, but my friend Amanda can. So they're going to send them to me. And I had some people around at the beginning, maybe I was not hitting my target demographic yet because I didn't know who they were. And so I was with a lot of people says, that sounds amazing, but I'm no position to do it right now. So what would I say? That's totally fine. When you're ready, I'm here. Right? But then because they were educated on the process, they were sold on it. They will send people and I was like, oh yeah, well, so my friend, Becca sent me, and I was just like, Becca, I haven't had a client.
I don't know.
Right? And then I was like,
I've had that happen so many times.
we
Like,
had
oh, Julie sent me.
conversations with where?
Julie, can I see your picture?
And there's people that I've not worked with, but they have been through the consultation. And they are educated on everything, so that they go ahead and do that. So, but yes, that's what I will do, Kathleen.
So what are some things then? You're saying you want it during the consultation, you're not chasing, you're not going to the sale, but you're trying to build a relationship with potential client. What are some things that you're going into and you're trying to actively think, how am I going to build this as a connection and not a sale?
You ask them questions about what they want, what they desire, and what goals they have.
What pain points they have.
How do you solve them?
So the first part of my
lot.
consultation, it's listening, is asking questions and asking questions and asking questions. Have people jokingly said, Sarai, I know this was a job interview. When I asked them, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Right? Or how's your personal brand? And
What is your biggest strength?
yes. What do you want your images to showcase you, as with your strengths and stuff. So all those things I'm asking. That's how I'm developing that relationship.
So since you're focusing on personal branding, a lot of it is, you had mentioned during the live, marketing. You're trying to figure out like their marketing plan. Are there any types of questions that you're asking that is more on a personal level to get to know them as opposed to their business?
Yes.
Yeah.
The first part
I have
of the
the
consultation.
slide. So.
Yes, like the first part is getting to know you personally.
Okay.
Because a lot of people, when I tell them, tell me about your personal brand, they're not sure what that means. And so they're like, well, professional,
Approachable,
They
hardworking.
don't even say approachable. They say, I'm professional. I have a lot of experience. Okay, I'm like, but that doesn't describe who you are. Right? So I do go through all the personal questions, and I'm trying to get to know them. One of the main questions I ask is, if I were, okay, so Susan, who's your best friend? What's her name? Oh, okay, so her name is Ashley. Perfect. If I were to call Ashley right now and ask to describe you, your personality, not you as a business owner, but your personality, what would she tell me? And then they're like, oh, well, they'll tell you I'm the life of the party, that, I'm a good shoulder to cry on, all the things. And now I'm starting now to get all an insight into who they are, not just as a business person, because that's the next step. I first want to know them as a human.
My last client that I asked that, she said her friend would say she's pretty capable and fun at parties. And I was like, I love that. She knew it. She just knew right off the bat.
And
here's what they say. They literally say it. Yeah.
That you ask them, they get like, oh, I don't know. Right. But when you start breaking it down into things that they're like, oh, okay, my best friend would say this, or
Right.
my mom would say this, or my fiance would say this.
100%. Brianne asked, can you talk about how this in a beauty or glamour portrait versus branding? Kat, do you want to?
Yeah.
Do you want to cover that?
Okay. What is the question?
How do
What I
you
just
translate
shared,
this kind of thing
but
in
they're coming from
glamour?
So if they're coming to me for a portrait, like it's still about like what's the story they want to tell? How do they want to be seen? Right. And most of them will go, God, I don't know, just do your thing. Right. And so the way I deepen that connection is by asking about who they are. How do they want the story told about who they were? Because one day that's going to be a requirement. So when you call your best friend and say, what was Sarai like for her eulogy, right? Like, what do you want to be remembered? Is that powerful, confident, strong? Is that vulnerable?
It's the legacy
appreciated,
piece.
right? Like, what is the story you want people to tell about who you were. And then it's, how do you want to feel during your photo shoot? How do you want to feel when you see your images?
And I love that about you, Kat, because we both took my human design test.
Yes.
The
Me
first
too. We
week
all
of
have.
January.
Yeah, you guys had us.
Yeah, you guys are on my phone.
And
Yeah.
you are, you're emotional as
Uh-huh.
opposed to me. I'm not emotional, but you really, where you see success is when you bring that feeling
Mhm.
aspect and piece to the things that
Yes.
you're doing, because that's how you connect with clients.
Well, I have to individualize, so I
Yeah.
have to tailor, and I have to feel it in my gut.
Yes.
If you walked into my studio and I were like, guess what's not gonna happen? It's
Yeah.
not gonna go well,
Yeah.
right? But if I'm able to find a connection in some part, and it's either gonna be in how you want to feel, it's gonna be in the type of imagery you want to create, or the story you want told. Those are the
Absolutely.
3 options where I'm gonna be able to feel a connection.
Mhm.
Write
And
that down.
that's where I'm gonna draw.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what I love about your work, Kat. It's so emotive. Like you
Yeah.
can feel it before you can start describing it. And I think that that's the power of that, right? It's a consultation, guys, but what do you want to get out of it? That's how you're still asking questions. You're still, the client is still leading that.
They're still in control of
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Even though you are in charge of the process,
Mhm,
they get to choose how they want to be seen,
mhm,
how much they want to spend,
Mhm.
and whether or not they're going to be a part of your process.
absolutely.
Because they're the ones spending, it's their money.
And you're empowering them. When you set policies in place, when you set boundaries, you're really empowering them to do whatever they want within those limits.
Well, and here's the other
Yeah.
piece for the people that are like, I don't want to talk about pricing. I just want to send the PDF. Stop taking their power away.
Mhm.
Because when you hide from your prices and you don't share what they are, you are taking the client's power away to make an informed decision about
Amen.
working with you.
100%.
And that's where bait and switch comes from.
Exactly.
You're not trying to bait and switch, you're just scared of it. Right? Instead of being scared of it, just be transparent and clear.
Because if you're scared, they'll be scared.
Oh,
They'll feel it. Yeah, they'll
the
feel it.
energy.
Like, why isn't she talking about this? Like you were saying, the guy that was like, "Are you going to ask me for money?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, how does this
When
work?
do I pay you?
How, let me help you. Like, help me give you money.
Yes, exactly. And it's a simple question. Will this be on your Visa, MasterCard, or American Express? And then they say, oh, you take Amex? Absolutely. Write those smiles.
Delta.
And I feel like I need to recommend that everybody has a shoot done of them, because they shoot very differently, right? Very different, like yin and yang on. But the way that you can feel in front of somebody's camera,
Yes.
the way that they make you feel, and if I've ever made somebody feel that way, like how empowered. If you've seen me in the wings with the fan, with him holding the fan, if I've made one person feel even close to that, I've left the world a better place. So get in front of cameras and get some proper portraits taken.
And that doesn't mean
Along
go trade it.
Right.
No, pay
No,
for it.
invest.
For it.
And
Even
it doesn't
if it
have to be
means-
with us.
It doesn't. It can be call Kevin and Angie,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like call one another. If you've got an accountability partner, whatever, but you guys are going to
you gotta
pay for it.
Yeah.
Because
Is
that's
there a
where you'll
portrait system person
understand the
near you?
value. You'll
Find
understand
somebody
the
near
value
you.
that way.
Well, and you can get to the portrait system, the accreditation
Yep.
map to
Yeah.
see if there's anybody nearby.
Nearby.
Or you can hop on a flight and go to your favorite photographer, right?
Absolutely.
And many of you are going, I just kind of money right now. I'm not my client. Like, what kind of value will I get out of this? It will change everything.
It will change your life. When I was first photographed and hadn't been photographed professionally since my wedding, and before that, since I was like maybe 7, right? And Sue photographed me, and some of the mentors photographed me at that workshop.
Mm.
It changed who I was. I doubled what I had made the previous year because I understood the value. I understood the process. Now, when clients were not asking, when they asked me, what am I going to do with 20 images of myself? I'm like, well, let me show you all my images. And there's a video on my website at taylorroman.com that is a voiceover by my daughter when she was 3 years old, right? And it still makes me cry every
It's
time I
gonna
watch
make you
it.
cry and you don't even know
So
her daughter.
go
I
watch
know
it.
her. No, for
Okay?
sure.
But since I put that there and I have all the images from that day,
Mhm.
nobody has ever asked me again, why do I need so many images of myself?
Well, you know what? It does still come up at my studio.
Yeah.
You know what I say? Love them.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
You get to love them.
mic drop.
And for me, it's like, and with my daughter, I'm like, I made her 4x6s of all these images. She carried them on a Ziploc bag on her backpack everywhere she went.
Oh.
And she will show them to everybody. This is my mommy. And she takes pictures like this. I mean, right? Just like I love having pictures of her, she loves having pictures of me. Even if I didn't want to be seen, even if I didn't feel worthy, even if I didn't feel beautiful enough, she saw me and she wanted me to exist in portraits just like I want her to exist in portraits.
Mm.
Why should we deprive our kids, our
Mhm.
family, from that experience?
We have a couple questions. Manaz asked, what is your response if a client asks, why are you so expensive?
Because this is how much it costs to work with me.
I am expensive. Let me tell you why. Explain what, here's
Thank
what we
you.
do.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I am. And I may not be for everyone, but when you're ready, I'll be here for you.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it matters that it's good.
Yeah.
This is one of those times.
Yeah.
Well, and
Right.
understanding too, like it's not my job to defend my prices.
No.
It's
Yeah.
my job to deliver value. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna do that in all the ways, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Website, social media, phone conversation, consultation. Like I don't call the lawyer and say, why are you $1,000 an hour?
Yeah.
I go, that lawyer's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other guy was only 200. This guy must be better,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're worth it, somebody said, and
Mhm.
absolutely right. And because I work mostly with business owners, I was like, what does it mean when I work with realtors? What would it mean for you to get a new sale, right?
A new client contract.
Yeah.
Right.
$3,000 to $25,000. You're spending $700. Just mind the return on investment when you position yourself as a leader in your area and people start calling and you're starting making more sales, right? So in my case, I talk about the return on investment that they get because I work with headshots and branding people.
Which is what I'm starting to lean toward because I'm really enjoying the process of watching how that can evolve. I used to be really heavy into boudoir, and now I'm leaning more into branding because I'm finding it more fulfilling to help them come up with a marketing plan and stuff like that.
Well, and that's
So-
the thing. Once they come to you for branding, you can also offer boudoir at
Right.
the same price. You can also family. You can also use everything else. And then when they
Mhm.
ask me, well, Sarai, I see these beautiful portraits of family, in your studio, or these beautiful maternity pictures here and there, right? So I ask them, and then they're like, well, how much is it?
Mm.
Hey, it's the same price what we told you in February.
Mm.
And because it's the same price, I don't have to re-educate them. They already know that. So I think that that's the key with this. Bring them in for that gateway drug,
Yes.
right? And then
Everybody needs a good headshot.
Yeah,
I don't care
it's
what
a
you do.
need.
Everybody needs a
it's
good
a
headshot.
need. And then once they come in for the need, give them all the desire, right? They're getting hair makeup done. There's a beautiful boudoir album right there for them to browse as they're getting their hair done, right? They walk through the hallway from my hair makeup station all the way to the back of the studio. There's wall art, family wall art
Yep.
everywhere with adult children and with babies, because I want them to see themselves there. And now I'm just building desire. They already are educated on price. They're already educated on process. It's the easiest sale. No.
Toria asks, Sarai, if they come back for a family portrait that requires hair and makeup for a whole bunch of women, do you still not charge more for hair and makeup? I think she asked this in the live chat too.
It's up to you, Toria. It's up to you, right? So, for example, there's another mentor. We have Bethany Tappan-Jones, and she has extensively talked about this specific question. And she does have a price menu for when you bring families, because she specializes in multiple generations in families. And she says, this is how much is per person. This is how much to add if they're 13 years or younger. This is how much if they're 13 years or more, right? And she tells them exactly what it is, they pay that, and it's not applicable toward whatever their final purchases.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in my case, because I pay by the hour and we can see I have a hair person and a makeup person at the same time working on them, right? I don't mind covering hair and makeup because I know that when I have a family, I'm going to, my most minimum sale is going to be 5,000. The more people that they come.
Yeah, the more people, the more
So I'm
images
not
they're
gonna
gonna
make,
buy.
in my case, that's how I do it. I'm not gonna create a barrier to entry. I'm like, bring them all. Now I know I'm gonna sell at least $10,000.
Right, because you're Jeremy and
Ali.
Allie are there for the day anyway.
They're there for the day,
right? So
whether
you're
I
paying them a day rate,
they still
right?
get paid whether we have clients or
Yeah,
not.
so
Right. So yeah. Mhm.
maybe you just create a day rate.
Yes.
Jamie asked, I have a home inspector interested in photos for his business. How do you sell more when they wear the same thing over and over? In other words, no wardrobe changes.
Well, Jamie, that's your job at the consultation to tell them why it's important for them to bring more. Now, guys, at the beginning was hard for me to show that. I didn't photograph guys up until my 4th year in business because I focus on women. Again, I believe in hyper niching. But then those women had spouses, right? And so they sent their spouse to me. And so it was easier because the woman was already educated that they needed to bring several outfits. But whenever I got a guy that was not, they're like, well, I just need this. Maybe I can do with or without tie. Right? So what I did was I did a portfolio build with a couple of guys that brought several outfits. So now in my consultation, there's a section for guys and I show them. And the funniest thing is this, guys. So we did it with a navy suit and jacket. We did it with khakis and a white shirt. We did it with jeans and a jacket, like a jean jacket or something like that, different layers. We did them. I had one client that had a sweater or a vest, right? So we did all of these.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what my male clients did? Because I showed them this and I only had those 3 choices at the beginning.
Leather jacket.
That's all they did.
That's all they brought.
Yeah.
The leather jacket, all black shirt, black pants. They brought the navy suit. They brought the khakis.
Yeah.
Very literal. So I mean, it's like you
Superhero.
sell what you show.
Didn't you say that when you first started branding for men,
Mhm.
all
All I had was bald men because my first person was a bald guy. And so people identified with him that were bald, and I was only getting bald men to come to my studio. It was the funniest thing.
Yeah, they see themselves like, oh, that's me. I need that too.
Exactly. So what you do is your job is to educate, and I tell my clients, look, you love what you see on my website, right? That image that is on the website and that my client chose for their own website is not the first one that I shot. Now, I don't know about you, I said, but you kind of already told me that you believe you're not photogenic, that you don't like your picture made. So probably you're not going to like any of the images of the first set in the first outfit. There's actually some psychological relief. I said, when you go and change outfits, go and try the poses again. You know how this reel goes. That now you're going to start letting your guard down, and I want to be able to see the authentic self, your authentic self. And so that's why I require at least 3 outfit changes for guys.
oh,
That is not just a tight change.
Yeah.
And
a requirement.
it's a
Gotcha.
requirement.
Okay,
And I
there you
said,
go.
if you want what you see on my website, where you look relaxed, you look comfortable, you look approachable, there's a process, and the process is multiple outfit changes.
Yep. Manaz wanted to know, what do you do if people ghost you?
If they ghost me, you let them go.
Bless and release.
Bless
They'll
and
come back.
release.
They'll come back when they're ready. If you chase them, they'll hate you. Right? So how do you get out of the chase stage? By making sure that you have plenty of clients filling up your pipeline.
I totally forgot about
Right?
beef jerky.
And
Gotta go
so
beef jerky. You have
in
eggs,
May,
too.
guys, you
Did
really
you get all
need
your
to join
eggs?
us. Yeah, I get.
Okay.
So in May, guys, you need to join us at Cat Studio because we're going to be driving home all these marketing techniques that Cat uses, the ones I use, to make sure that we have a full pipeline and that we're not chasing one client who's not ready to book at this moment.
Mhm.
No chasing.
Mm-mm.
Hashtag no chasing. Cat's motto.
Yeah,
Yes.
it really is her motto. She
It
says
is.
it often. Oh, I'm chasing. Uh-oh. Stop that.
Now, Jamie, somebody says, Jean says, maybe try to photograph a variety of poses and sell more that
Right.
way.
She said the guy with one outfit, he's a home inspector. He only wears a red polo with his logo.
And I tell people, people will see the logo first before they see your face. They want to get to know who you are as a person so they can trust you and do business with you. So you're not going to bring a polo. with your logo. That's exactly what I tell them. Now,
Yeah, I
I
just had a
do,
conversation with
I
a
do
guy that,
photograph
yeah.
clients, you know, sometimes they only brought 2 outfits and they still have bought my top package because we have a variety of poses and expressions.
Mhm.
So,
yeah, I had a consult 2 weeks ago, and he is a mitigation, like water damage
Mhm.
person.
mm,
And he was leaving one company and going to a new one, and he wanted his headshots to have the logo. And I was like, well, what if you don't stay at this company?
mhm.
Let's not do the logo. Let's make it about you and not the
It's
logo.
that turnover
Your clients
rate.
aren't hiring you
Mhm.
because of the logo on your t-shirt. They're hiring you because you look confident, approachable. So
They're hiring you because you look like you can do the job and that you will be a fun person to talk to. So keep that in mind as you're doing that. You know, and again, you're just expressing your policies, your
Mhm.
boundaries with love, with respect. If this doesn't work for them, then you let them know, well, it seems to me that we're not a good fit. I wish you the best of luck as you find the right photographer for you.
Wendy, did you hear that? Nod your head. Okay. She asked that the other day,
Mhm.
like how to fire a client.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we're the best fit.
Yeah, you know, we're not, it
Yes.
seems like we're not a good fit. Best of luck as you find the right fit for you, you know, and
Mhm.
let them go with love.
Yes, bless and release.
Yeah.
So I have a question about going back to the consultation. As you were talking about, for business wise, you're asking them, how would you like to be photographed? How you like to
No.
be seen? Or
I don't ask,
No.
I don't ask how do you
How-
want to be photographed
that was
because they
Kat.
have no idea
how would you want your client
to see you.
to see you? So once they've answered that with,
Whence, that's a big
Huh?
word. Whence they've answered that. Sorry.
When they
I'm gonna grab a
answer
water.
that.
I'll be right back.
once they've told you those
Mhm.
words,
Mhm.
how do you then take those words and translate them to how they will look within their images?
So it's, you know, a lot of my clients, some of them don't smile.
Mm.
Maybe it's because they don't like their teeth, maybe because they think they need to look professional or with a lot of expertise. So being serious will convey that.
Mhm.
And I said, marketing is about smiles. If people can relate to you, they'll do business with you.
Mm.
Now I said, marketing is also about attracting the right clientele to you and repelling the people that you don't want to work with. Right?
Okay.
And so once we do that, we also can walk them through different expressions, same pose. Actually, there's a slide in my presentation for realtors when it says, this is for your buyers, this is for your sellers. Same pose, same light, same outfit.
Mhm.
But one of them is more confident looking
Mhm.
because their chin is up, they're a little bit more serious, their jaw is relaxed, so is their smile, right? This is going to say, I get the job done, even in this crazy market.
Mhm.
And then they have the other one, same exact thing, except a big smile that says, it's for your buyers who need so much hand holding and want to make sure that you're going to answer the questions and they're not going to feel stupid when they call you 10,000 times.
Salt and pepper.
Right? That's what you want to do. It's like you can just guide them through the different expressions
Mhm.
so that they have the variety.
Mhm.
And then when a client says, well, I love these 2 images, but there's the same outfit. And I said, but yes, let's look at what your marketing needs are.
Mhm.
You definitely need something for your buyers, something for your sellers, right?
Mhm.
And so you can use both of them.
Mhm. Gotcha. So that was for branding.
Mhm.
So for you, Kat, so when they've told you how they would want to be remembered as a legacy, and they've told you these words, and how would your friend describe you? How do you then take those words and then translate them into the type of posing that you're going to use for their imagery?
All posing is body language,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
So if they are super enthusiastic and fun and friendly and la 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 la, I'm gonna be posing them very open, dancey, lots of movement, and so on and so forth. If they're like just quiet and reserved, always been very conservative. Like a woman I photographed a couple months ago, she was like, my sister was the pretty one,
Oh my gosh.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I felt
And
that
she's 50,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so for her, it was not just about like, she is very conservative, right? But it's also about honoring the fact that she's gorgeous
Mhm.
and deserves to be in a
Mm.
portrait just as much as her sister does, right? So we created
How
elegant
powerful.
styling and really just comfortable
Yeah.
moments with
Mhm.
her, smiling and soft, smiling and soft.
Mhm.
You know, you guide that expression.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Tell them what you want.
Exactly. I love that, which is, I mean, exactly what Sue teaches in
Mhm.
all of the posting videos.
Mhm.
Connection is the one thing that actually got me hooked on Zoom.
Well,
Because
because
when
it
you're-
trumps everything,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It doesn't matter if you chopped you know, a piece of arm or whatever.
Right.
You cannot stop staring at that face,
Mhm.
and you cannot wait to get to meet that person when you
Mhm.
see any photographs from Zoom.
Mhm.
And it's the same thing that we're trying to achieve. Now, Brianna's asking, what about vouchers? My session fee is $740. What if should I offer 1,000, 1,500?
That's
What
for
should
me.
cover? And that's exactly what I was gonna say. We're wrapping up right now because you have, you know, it's an hour, right? And so May, it's all about marketing, different ways to market yourself online, in person, you know, and we're going to talk about both of those things, our experiences. The cool thing is that you get both Kat and I. We couldn't be more opposites in the way we do things, and yet we're bringing the same revenue, right? So you can see which one works better with your personality, works best with the way that you do business, and take both ways and double, triple what you do, or take the one that right now resonates the best with you.
Integrate the one that resonates the most. Get that recipe down and
Mhm.
working. And then integrate the other and have it work passively. Like
Mhm.
that's the way I set up, you know, like, yeah, I do a lot social media and
Mhm.
online campaigns and email
Mhm.
campaigns, but I still network in person and do a lot of that,
Mhm.
right? But that requires me to be present.
Mm.
The online pieces don't require me to be present. They just require me to have them set up.
Right.
So once I create all of those assets, plug and play, baby.
Mhm. Absolutely. So you're not trading
Time for money.
Absolutely.
So bring all those questions for May. Right now, what we want you to focus on is on developing that consultation. Watch the consultation video that is on the library with Sue. It's my absolute favorite. Watch what we just did in the live, right? Get those things that we're doing. And if you're like, hey, I don't have the time, I don't know what questions to ask because I'm starting out, and you have the money, then invest in Take Action with Sarai and invest in the studio
Takeover.
Studio takeover.
Mhm.
right, with Kat, so that you have those things in place. And instead of reinventing the wheel, instead of trying to waste years and, you know, that we did as we were finessing all of those things.
Hey
Right.
guys, who's
And-
applied to come to May? Who's gone to the
Okay.
catandsarai.show.com to apply to come to the May broadcast? I see 0 hands.
Oh, we need hands, people.
I need hands. I need applications. Like,
I'm coming.
awesome.
You're coming.
Yeah.
You're coming.
You're coming?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ashanta's coming. She said that.
Awesome.
So Wendy, I would love to see you there. You're close,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So we need to wrap up here because we're in Sue's studio and we need to bounce.
Mhm.
We appreciate you guys coming for this extra on the hook thing.
Mhm.
These ladies will be here every Monday at noon live in the members only Facebook group. So Pacific, thank
Mhm.
you. So if you have questions on the consultation or the homework,
Mhm.
or if there's something that we didn't get to,
Mhm.
then drop it in the Facebook group and they can either answer it live or they can answer it in comments. I want to say thank you to them so much for giving their time and their knowledge
Mhm.
so freely. And it's just incredible to be in the same room. So if you have the opportunity, make a way to do it to
Yep.
get to the lives, because like Kat said, this is how they met, by sitting where we were sitting today. So that's how opportunities come up, is if you're present,
Sure.
right? So be
Absolutely.
present, show up, fill out the application, come see these ladies in real life. They're
Yep.
amazing. So
And
We'd
you know
love
what
to
we
see
should
you
talk
there.
about on Monday?
Yes.
Let's talk about those prepayments on packages.
Oh,
prepayments on
absolutely.
packages. Yeah.
Through the
Absolutely. Through
consultation.
the consultation. That'd be amazing.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you all for coming to our bonus episode of On the Hook. And we will see you on Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific.
And we will be joined by Tammy Zurak on Thursday. And we will be joined with Ashley Taylor on Friday at 3 p.m.
Which is
Pacific.
also Kevin's birthday, and he's going to want some
Kevin's
recognition for
birthday.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Kevin really
Yes.
loves it when you sing happy birthday.
He
So-
sure
and
does.
I mean
Yes.
that like in the
So
real
real.
world.
Yeah. So thank you guys for showing up, and we will see you in the
Yeah,
group.
for you. Oh,
And
finally.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
We'll see you
There's
in the
some
group and online and on Thursday. Thank you guys so much.
Bye,
Have a wonderful day.